No way he just said this, as one New York Rangers defenseman has spoken out against Peter Laviolette and some of his decision making. We're going to get into how that could affect the dynamic of the team, as well as some interesting quotes and roster decisions from Peter Laviolette himself. We're going to break it all down in this episode of Rangers Digest. But before we do, a quick reminder to hit that subscribe button. About 74% of you who watch these videos are not actually subscribed to the channel. So if you want to stay up to date with everything New York Rangers, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Now, it looks as if Zac Jones is going to be a healthy scratch again against the Boston Bruins today, and he has been a healthy scratch for a lot of games this season after having a very good showing last season. And honestly, when he's played this season, in my opinion, he has looked good. And we're going to get into why I believe he should be in the lineup every night later in the video. But for the time being, he's not being put up in the lineup every night. And Peter Laviolette has had some interesting things to say about that. And not just him, Zac Jones, of all people, has come out and basically spoken out against the coach and voiced his displeasure and his concern, all of that. And I love some of the quotes here from Zac Jones. And for a guy who really never speaks to the media, this is a bit of a bombshell from him. But this is from Forever Blue Shirts. Zac Jones is pissed that he's been bypassed again on the New York Rangers defense. Direct quote, "It bleeping sucks." And is he going to ask for a trade? Maybe. And obviously they get into the article. And one thing I thought in the article, another quote that was very interesting, he didn't hold back on his feelings about being healthy scratched. And the fact that, there's a lot of players around the league that do that. Capo Caco came out and did that. Obviously voicing his displeasure and can't understand why he was. And that's why a lot of people are linking him to a trade now because of what happened with Capo Caco. I don't know if it's the same situation, but anyway, Zac Jones went on to say, "It's tough. It's really tough." He told the media after practice, "It's just generally a pretty easygoing. I'm just generally a pretty easygoing, happy person. And no matter what is going on in my life, I'm going to try and come to the rink with a smile on my face. But it sucks. Like there's nothing else I can say about it." And Rangers coach Peter Laviolette understood Jones's frustration, but he has acknowledged that the significant roster changes in the past few weeks have forced him to make decisions that some players weren't going to be happy with. Now, significant roster changes. You added a right shot defenseman. That has nothing to do with Zac Jones. And obviously, Vakanainen, I'll pose the question out there right now. Let me know in the comments. Would you rather have Zac Jones or Vakanainen in the lineup? Because I know my answer, and it's not the guy who just got here. So don't understand that decision, from Peter Laviolette. And again, incredible quote from Zac Jones. It's good for him to come out and speak on how the lineup decisions are affecting him, the rest of the team. I think this is something that, has been going on all season for Zac Jones, right, at this point. And he had a great showing last year. I thought that he should have been a regular this year. And again, I'll get into why in just a second, but he's been nothing but a team guy. I have to agree with Johnny Lazarus there. A lot of really good points. And this was the quote he was talking about. It's tough. It really bleeping tough. I'm not a 32-year-old guy collecting a paycheck. I'm a guy who wants to earn my paycheck. I need to play. I have things I need to improve in order to be a full-time player, and that's what I want to be. I want to be a guy who plays 82 games and be in the lineup every night. Is this not an amazing quote from Zac Jones? Like, this guy wants to be a New York Ranger. This guy's far from the problem that we've been seeing the last couple of weeks. There's guys who are making north of $8 million on this team that don't want to be here. Maybe don't want to not want to be here. They want to be here, but under their terms. They want everything to be under their terms, right? So Zac Jones is not that type. He understands that he's still a young player in this league. He has a lot that he needs to learn still, and he's not going to learn anything by continuing to practice with the team. He needs to get in-game situations and play in some big moments, and he's not getting that opportunity. So I love the foresight here from Zac Jones, honestly. He wants to improve. He wants to be on this team, and he wants to be a guy that plays a full season. He wants to be a regular NHLer. So I love this quote. I love everything about what Zac Jones is saying, and I think that he's right. He absolutely should be in the lineup. Zac Jones this season, he's played in 26 games. He has 7 assists, 8 points. He's a plus on this New York Rangers team. He is a +2 on this New York Rangers team this year. Only Schneider has a higher plus-minus by a Rangers defenseman this season. Who does Braden Schneider play with for the majority of his time this season? Zac Jones. So I think that there is a direct correlation there. Again, did you know that Zac Jones is one of only 3 New York Rangers D-men with a positive goal differential at 5-on-5 this season. As you can see here, it's Adam Fox, Zac Jones, and Ruud Weedle, who's really not played that much, so I wouldn't even really count that. But then there's Braden Schneider right there. Braden Schneider playing with Zac Jones. This is a pairing that should be playing together, should be playing more often, and playing almost every single game. So not sure what's going on there. Some of these decisions have been very puzzling to me, and I know a lot of people are not as high on Zac Jones as I am, but I mean, the stats speak for themselves at this point, right? I'm not saying to put him with Adam Fox. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying he should be playing almost every game because I think that he gives the Rangers a better chance to win than not, and he should be playing with Braden Schneider, and they both should be getting a little bit more ice time than they have been this season when they played together. That's what I'm saying, and I mean, we'll get into some other quotes in just a second from Peter Laviolette, but if you look at his stats, like I just mentioned, he has 8 points in 26 games. I mean, it's nothing crazy. It's not jumping off the page at you, but if you look at some of the other Rangers this year, their stats aren't either, right? Like, this guy has put together a pretty decent season, I think. Again, I don't really put too much into plus minus, but on a team like this, and with a guy who has a plus minus as bad as Mika Zibanejad on this team, his 5-on-5 numbers, Zac Jones that is, are not bad at all. And he's logging quite a bit of ice time when he does play, almost 17 minutes time on ice averaging this season. He's going to be moving into his 25-year-old season. This is a guy who needs to play to get better. And this is a guy who I think can be a difference maker moving forward with the New York Rangers. It's just, there are times he has a short leash and he does make mistakes, but that's because he isn't getting into every single game. He needs to play in high pressure situations, different situations, to gain that experience so he can become a better defenseman for the New York Rangers. And there's not too many guys I would put out in those situations anymore. We've seen what happened to Ryan Lindgren. He's not the same player he used to be, especially this season, right? Like, maybe he can get back to that level, but this season has been not great for him. Keandre Miller's not having a great season, right? Like, Zac Jones, give him some runway to work with here so he can get better, because he wants to get better. He wants to be here. He wants to get better. I love that quote from Zac Jones. And this was the response from Peter Laviolette in terms of what Zac Jones says. It's okay to be frustrated. I'm perfectly fine with that. Everybody wants to play. You get to this level, everybody wants in. They want to play, and I'm okay with that. And I mean, pretty surface level quote here from Peter Laviolette in terms of what Zac Jones said. But yeah, he's right? Like, everyone wants to play at this level, and the coaching staff has to make some difficult decisions, but I don't think some of those difficult decisions should be scratching, and healthy scratching, Zac Jones. I think he should be in this lineup more often than not. I think he should be playing with Braden Schneider, because they've proven this season, in a bad season, right? Like, ever since, I guess, early November, it's been really, really bad for the New York Rangers. And ever since that kind of turnaround, when the record started to drop a bit, they've still been good together. And they were good together before that. When they've played together, they've been fine. So they should be playing more often than not. They should be playing together, and they should be getting more minutes, in my opinion. But let me know what you think in the comments, because this is very interesting. It looks like he's going to be scratched again. He might factor in. At the time I'm recording this, we haven't got line rushes. We haven't got any of the morning skate news yet, but it looks like he could be a healthy scratch again. Maybe he'll factor back in. I think he should factor back in. But big game tonight against the Boston Bruins back at the Garden. But let me know what you think in the comments, and if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with everything New York Rangers.